to wait for it to finish and then I can get back. See, shut that. There we go. Just my phone just told me that Mosaic Reform Service was just about to start because I've just set up the live streaming.
Oh, okay.
So it knows I watch it. So
Oh, very, very good. It's all very worrying, this AI. It really is, what they know about you. We had I volunteer at a library and we had a committee meeting last Tuesday and somebody switched on the AI to, and so we got the following day, we got the minutes of our meeting according to the AI. I cannot tell you what that was like. It was horrendous.
yeah,
Some of it was absolutely fine and some of it was like, oh,
I think our secretary from Stevenage tried doing that for one of our council meetings and had exactly the same problem. It just wasn't appropriate.
no, no. Well, with a Preston Community Library. So, and obviously we all call each other by our names during the committee meeting, but somehow this person called Preston is mentioned every other line. So it could be any one of us. So
Yeah.
it doesn't always work.
It's a bit like sometimes when you're watching, like if I watch a service, and sometimes the text is on, and that's weird what it actually says for you know like some of the Hebrew. But yeah.
Right. So hopefully there'll be other people joining, including.
Well, Anna's there, so she's set up in the
Oh,
hall, and she's just finishing off getting things ready.
of course, yes.
And Kevin, I don't think can make tonight, so I don't know who else is going to be here, but
Well, we'll see. So sometimes it's quite a few arrive at the last minute.
yeah, doesn't look like there's many people there, even though they've got. Oh, I suppose if they've got Shabbat Beitenu, they might have people
There
milling around in
must
the
be more
hall.
people,
Yeah.
yes. Sorry, I'm just trying to turn my sound off on my phone.
My cat is snoring.
Oh, I can't hear it. Right, done.
Yeah, I'm sharing the screen, so hopefully it's going to go all right.
Okay.
I've got it in two different places just in case.
Well, is it like do they normally use a special leaflet at that service?
Ah,
A
I'm
special text
I'm not
rather than
sure.
referring to the two different
I'm not
programs?
sure because I know that they we've this is the service that I know Rachel uses on a Friday night, but it's got a little. I think Anna's put something in about the Torah tomorrow. Ranya's just joining as well. That audio yet? Shabbat shalom, Rania.
Shabbat Shalom, Rania. We nearly got your sound.
The sound is not. Oh, hi. Shabbat
Ah,
Shalom, everyone.
Shabbat
Good to
Shalom,
see
Rania.
you. Now, are you going to see me? That's another thing. Aha. Hmm. Yes.
Ah, there we are. Hello.
Ah,
Nice to see
here
you.
I am. Nice to see you too. Oh, it works. Well, it's working.
Wonderful.
That's good.
Fingers crossed, fingers crossed.
Yes. How is everybody?
Yeah, okay at the moment,
Hi,
thank
how
you.
are you? How are you?
Yeah, you come on
Ooh.
in, sorry. Hello,
Oh,
Zoomers.
Hi.
Hello.
Hello.
Sorry, we're gathering things as always, but we're very nearly there. I have candlesticks and everything. How's everyone doing?
Yep.
good.
Fine, thank you.
It's good to see you.
Don't see me. Ah,
What else do we need? We've got matching. Oh, thanks for that. We might be names, faces, It's flat, so we can all gather in a little bit. Oh, thank you. I might try and find the Torah portion tonight, so we're not faffing around. So I can come here and not be behind the wall. Gather people in. We're using the. That's for you, right? Oh, right.
So the answer, Brigitte, is yes.
Okay, fair enough.
Great. Thank you so much, Zoomers, for your patience. We're very nearly there. In fact, we might. Let's get started. Shabbat shalom, everybody. We'll get started. It's lovely to see everyone on Zoom. It's lovely to see everyone in the room, and I'm sure some people will trickle in, hopefully not out, as we keep going. So we're using these booklets, which were printed during Passover, or in between Passover and Shavuot. So you'll see later on they count the Omer. Of course, we'll ignore that page. Hopefully, the one on Zoom that page has been deleted, so you'll be many steps ahead of us, but if not, we'll just skip it. So we're starting on the first page, which is actually written page 2. Yedi nefesh shav harachaman mishoch avdecha el retzonecha yarutz avdecha kamo hayam ישתחווה אל מול הדרכה, יערב לו ידידותיך, מנופת צוף וכל טעם. Yana nai 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 nai, yana nai 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 nai, yana nai 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 nai, yana nai 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 nai, yana nai 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 nai, yana nai 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 nai, yana nai 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 nai, yana nai 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 nai. Yana nai 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 nai. Yana nai 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 nai. Yana nai 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 nai. Yana nai 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 nai. We'll turn to the next page, and I'll invite everyone to stand as Rosemary will light the candles for us. Yeah, thank you.
Before you do it, do you light the candles first and then do the blessing?
That's right.
Yeah.
Shabbat shalom. Okay.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kadeshanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu lahadlik ner shel Shabbat.
Amen. Shabbat shalom. I had the real privilege, please be seated, this week of sitting on the Bet Din. And so that's where kind of 3 rabbis sit there, and people come either for conversion or status cases. And we had both this week, and it was an incredible privilege. It's amazing to hear people's stories and why they want to join or affirm their Judaism. And one thing that came up time and time again was how amazed people were by the specialness of Shabbat, by having this opportunity that they'd never known before to mark a period in time, and to take a moment to pause from the working week. And I think so often we take that for granted. It's just something that comes every week, and it was wonderful to hear it time and time again with all of the candidates who mentioned how kind of in awe they were of this practice that had become their own tradition as well. So we shall turn over. Shalom Aleichem. Shalom Aleichem, Malachei Hasharet, Malachei Elyon. Mi melech Malachei HaMalachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Boachem l'shalom, Malachei Hashalom, Malachei Elyon. Mi melech malachei hamalachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Baruch Hu ni l'shalom, Malachei Hashalom, Malachei Elyon. Mi melech malachei hamalachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Zeitchem l'shalom, malachei hashalom, malachei elyon. Mi melech malachei hamelachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. And this line many of you will have heard before, but it's very repetitive. So please join in if you know it or when you know it. Ozaru ala tzadik ul yishrei lev simcha. 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 And of course, we continue in song as we welcome the Shabbat bride. Lecha dodi likrat kala, pnei Shabbat nekabela. Lecha dodi likrat kala, pnei Shabbat nekabela. Shamo v'zacho b'dibor echad, Hishmianu el hamyuchad. Adonai echad u'shemo echad, l'shem ol tiferet v'litila. Lecha dodi likrat kala, pnei Shabbat nekabela. Lecha dodi likrat kala, pnei Shabbat nekabela. Likrat Shabbat lechu v'nelcha, ki makor habracha, merosh mikedem nasucha, sof ma'aseh b'machshavcha tila. Lecha dodi likrat kala, pnei Shabbat nekabela. Lecha dodi likrat kala, pnei Shabbat nekabela. Hitoreri, hitoreri, kiva orech kumi uri, uri shidaberi, kavod Adonai alach nikla. Lecha dodi likrat kala, pnei Shabbat nekabela. Lecha dodi likrat kala, pnei Shabbat nekabela. I invite you back. Boi b'shalom aderet ba'ala, gam b'simcha u'b'tzola, toch emunei am segula. Boi chala, lecha dodi likrat kala, pnei Shabbat nekabela. Lecha dodi likrat kala, pnei Shabbat nekabela. And we'll remain standing as we call each other to prayer. Baruchu et Adonai ha'mevorach. Baruch Adonai ha'mevorach le'olam va'ed. Please be seated. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher b'dvaro ma'ariv aravim, b'chochma potech sha'arim, u'v'tvuna meshane itim u'mechalif et hazmanim, u'mesadeh et hakochavim b'mishmorei tehem barakia kertzono, borei yom v'layla golel or mipnei hoshech, v'choshech mipnei or. Umavir yom umevi layla, ומבדיל בין יום ובין לילה, אדוני צבאות שמו. ברוך אתה אדוני, המעריב הערבי. Over on page 10. אהבת עולם בית ישראל, עמך אהבת, תורה ומצוות, חוקים ומשפטים, אותנו לימדת. על כן אדוני אלוהינו בשוכבנו ובקומנו נשיח בחוקיך, ונשמח בדברי תורתך ובמצוותיך לעולם ועד. כי הם חיינו ואורך ימינו, ובהם נגי יומם ולילה. ואהבתך אל תסור ממנו לעולם נהים. ברוך אתה אדוני, אוהב עמו ישראל. I invite us all to take a deep breath together. And if you feel comfortable to close your eyes as we'll drag out that tune of the Shema. Shema. Israel. Adonai. Eloheinu. Adonai. Baruch Shem Kavod Malchuto Leolam Va'ed. ואהבת את אדוני אלוהיך בכל לבבך ובכל נפשך ובכל מאודיך. והיו הדברים האלה אשר אנוכי מצווך היום על לבביך, ושיננתם לבניך ודיברת בם, בשבתך בביתך ובלכתך בדרך, ובשוכבך ובקומך, ושרתם לאות על ידיך, והיו לטוטפות בין עיניך, וכתבתם על מזוזות ביתך ובשעריך. We'll have a few moments of our own thoughts and reflections before we join back together on page 13. למען תזכרו ועשיתם את כל מצוותיי, והייתם קדושים לאלוהיכם. אני אדוני אלוהיכם, אשר הוצאתי אתכם מארץ מצרים, להיות לכם לאלוהים. אני אדוני Elohechem emet. I wonder, Rania, if you'd be able to read this next passage for us, please, on Zoom.
All this we hold to be true and sure. You alone, Eternal One, are our God, and we are Israel, your people. You have freed us from oppressors and delivered us from tyrants. You led us out of Egypt, forever to serve you in freedom. When we witness your power, we praise your name and gave thanks. Willingly, we accepted your rule. Then, full of joy, we sang together.
Mi chamocha ba'elim Adonai מי כמוך, נדע בקודש נורא, תהילות עושה פלא, נורא תהילות עושה פלא. אדוני ימלוך לעולם ועד, ונאמר כי פדה אדוני את יעקב, וגאלו מיד חזק ממנו. Baruch atah Adonai, Ga'al Yisrael. All this we hold to be true and sure. You alone, Eternal One, are our God, and we are Israel, your people. You have freed us from oppressors and delivered us from tyrants. I've turned backwards, haven't I? I'm so sorry. Let's turn forwards. So here we have this blessing of protection that I always tell that the rabbis were so scared of the dark, and now I don't know if you've noticed, I've definitely noticed and I'm really feeling it, but those nights are getting darker, and so more than ever this blessing as we enter these months feels relevant. Ushmot seitenu voenu l'chaim u'l'shalom me'ata v'ad olam, me'ata v'ad olam, me'ata v'ad olam. Hashkivenu Adonai, Eloheinu l'shalom, Bahamidenu Malkeinu l'chaim. Ufros aleinu sukat shlomecha, me'ata v'ad olam, me'ata v'ad olam, me'ata v'ad olam. God, our going out and our coming in, that we may have life and peace now and for all time. Grant, eternal God, that we may lie down in peace, and let us rise up to life renewed. Spread over us the shelter of your peace, now and for all time. I invite us all to stand if it's comfortable for you to do so for the Amidah. Ananana Adonai. Ya na 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 sfatai tifta. Ana na 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 ufi yagid. Ufi yagid techilatecha. Ana na 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 Adonai. Ana na 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 sfatai tifta. Ana na 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 ufi yagid. Ufi yagid techilatecha. Ana na 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 Adonai. Ana na 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 sfatai tifta. Ana na 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 ufi yagid. Ufi yagid techilatecha. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu v'Elohei avoteinu ve'imoteinu, Elohei Avraham, Elohei Yitzchak, v'Elohei Yaakov, Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Rachel, v'Elohei Leah, Ha'el Hagadol, Hagibor v'Hanora, El Elyon, Gomer Chasadim Tovim, v'Koneh Hakol, v'Zocher Chasdei Avot ve'Imaot, ומביא גולה לפני בניהם, למען שמו באהבה, מלך חוזה ומושיע מגן. ברוך אתה אדוני, מגן אברהם ועזרת שרה. אתה גיבור לעולם אדוני, מחיי מתים אתה רב להושיע, משיב הרוח ומוריד הגשם. מזריח השמש ומוריד הטל, מכלכל חיים בחסד, מחיי מתים ברחמים רבים, סומך נופלים ורופא חולים, ומתיר אסורים. ומקיים אמונתו לשני עפר, מי כמוך בעל גבורות ומידו מלך, מלך ממית ומחיה ומצמיח ישועה, ונאמן אתה לחיות מתים. ברוך אתה אדוני מחיי המתים. קדוש אתה ונורא שמך, ואין לנו אלוה מבלעדיך. Baruch atah Adonai Ha'el HaKadosh. Over on page 21, Brigitte, I wonder, would you please read for us?
We thank you, O God, for this Sabbath day, which calls us to closer communion with you. Though you are near to us at all times, you reveal your presence most clearly when we direct our thoughts towards you in worship and meditation. In you, O God, our humanity is exalted. You are our life. From you come its greatness, its power, its beauty. Establish in us, we humbly pray, a devotion to you that shall be firm in all the circumstances of life. May this service renew in our hearts the sense of your presence and bring us peace.
Amen. Thank you. Please be seated. We're going to skip page 22. I believe it's already skipped on the PowerPoint, and we're on page 23. Our God and God of our ancestors, may our rest on this day be pleasing in your sight. Sanctify us by your commandments and make us loyal to your teaching. Satisfy us with your goodness, gladden us with your salvation, and purify our hearts to serve you in truth. In your gracious love, Eternal One, let the holiness of your Sabbath enter our hearts, and may all Israel who hallow your name be exalted by its peace. We praise you, O God, for the holiness of the Sabbath. Baruch atah Adonai Mekadesh HaShabbat. Ratzei Adonai Eloheinu b'yamcha Yisrael, u'tefilatam b'yahava tekabel, u'tehi l'ratzon tamid avodat Yisrael amecha. Baruch atah Adonai, she'otecha levadcha b'yira na'avod. Modim אנחנו לך, שאתה הוא אדוני אלוהינו ואלוהי אבותינו לעולם ועד. צור חיינו, מגן ישנו, אתה הוא לדור ודור. נודה לך ונספר תהילתך, על חיינו המסורים בידיך, ועל נשמותינו הפקודות לך, ועל ניסיך שבכל יום עמנו, ועל נפלותיך וטובותיך, שבכל עת ערב ובוקר וצהריים. ברוך אתה אדוני, הטוב שמך ולך נאה להודות. שלום רב על ישראל עמך, תשים לעולם. שלום רב על ישראל עמך, תשים לעולם. כי אתה הוא מלך אדון לכל השלום. כי אתה הוא מלך אדון לכל השלום. שלום רב על ישראל עמך, תשים לעולם. שלום רב על ישראל עמך, תשים לעולם. וטוב בעיניך לברך את עמך ישראל ואת כל העמים בכל עת ובכל שעה בשלומך. שלום רב על ישראל עמך, תשים לעולם. שלום רב על ישראל עמך, תשים לעולם. we'll have a few more moments of our own prayers and reflections. This is another tune that's very repetitive, so please do join in if and when you know it. I realize on the screen they have Osei Shalom. In our books, we have Yehiyu Ratzon. I think the thing to bring us together will be Osei Shalom, because then we can all see it up there if we need it. So I'm switching the tune. We're going to do, okay, I've got it. Oh, say shalom bimroma. Say shalom aleinu. Ve'al kol Yisrael. Ve'al kol b'nei Adam. Ve'imru, imru, amen. Nine, 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 nine. Nine, 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 nine. Yana nine, 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 nine. Yana nine, 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 nine. So I think the next slide is some Torah. Yes, amazing. So I'll talk a little bit first and then we'll use, I'm going to try and reposition the projector because we're going to need to be able to see the Torah in just a moment. See the words on the screen. So tomorrow or tonight, we're reading from Parashat Ki Tetzei, when you go out. And that first line is from when you go out into battle. So last year, excuse me, it's been a week of lots of cold and no sleep. Last week, we started reading about laws of war because the Israelites knew they were about to enter the land and there would be lots of other nations. This is part of our Torah that makes us feel, well, I think can often make us feel really uncomfortable that the Israelites are about to enter into this land and they know that they'll come upon lots of other nations and that there'll be battles. And so last week and this week, there are lots of laws on just war. Some which also even the framework of just war, especially this week when it talks about taking captives, can make you feel very uncomfortable. But this parasha has got the most number of laws than any other parasha. You'd think that would be in Leviticus, but it's here in Deuteronomy. There are 72 laws in this parasha, and they range from ones which make us feel, oh my gosh, can't believe that's in Torah, in a really gut-crunching way, to wow, I can't believe that's in Torah, in a really profound, how great this is my tradition kind of way. So we've got laws on giving loans, but taking the loans back in a just way, making sure that those who don't have aren't left without, and loads of laws around animals. Not really pets, but about working animals. So things like when it's Shabbat, not only should we all be resting, but our animals should be resting too. So I hope your cats are sleeping nicely tonight. I'm sure they are. There's also laws around paying laborers. You must pay your workers before the sun goes down because they require that money in order to live. 72 laws. I won't bore you with every single one of them, but one of them, which has left rabbis and commentators through the ages puzzled, is this one, which is on the screen. I'm going to pull the projector back. That's going to help us.
Oh, yes.
Zoom out a little bit. How do I do that? I'm scared to touch it, but I'll tell you, and I think for many of you it'll be familiar anyway. So this is the commandment that if you stumble upon a bird's nest and you need the eggs from it for food, either you want them or need them, there's an implication that they're needed for food. You don't take the mother along with the eggs. You shoo the mother away and you take the eggs. In order that you may fare well and live a long life. So there's something deep within this commandment that means not only do you get some nice eggs and a little bird doesn't get hurt, but you will fare well and have a long life. Oh, Hannah just said, for those on Zoom, isn't that like honoring your father and mother? So Hannah's just opened the discussion. No, fantastic. Hannah's just opened the discussion. This is what I'm going to do. I'm going to mute us in the room and mute you all on Zoom so that you can speak with each other and we can't hear you, and we can all speak with each other and you can't hear us. And then we're going to come back together and share some of our interpretations. So Hannah started us off with one interpretation. And if you gather between each other, I'd love to see how many interpretations we can come up with. And also, if maybe you can unpack together, or Hannah, you can kick it off. Why is that connected to honoring your father and mother? So pause it there, and I'm going to make the sound work so we're not disturbing each other.
So I think we're meant to discuss it as well.
Yes.
I find it quite disturbing that you get rewarded for taking some eggs. I know, and I mean, I suppose if you're desperately starving, it could be justified, but otherwise, you're being rewarded for doing something which you wouldn't normally consider doing.
Not even just eggs though, because it could just be the little fledglings.
Yeah, that's even worse.
Yeah, it's like I don't know if any of you watch Spring Watch or some of whatever those sorts of things are, but it was Spring Watch, and they have live cameras on like
Oh,
various
yes.
nests and things, and then one day they're showing you the nest and you can see the little fledglings, and the next day it's empty, and they show you the camera of like a fox coming along and getting the babies and taking them away. It's like really sad.
Oh.
It's, you know,
Yeah.
and obviously they didn't take the mother because the mother might not have been there. The mother might have been getting food and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But they took, the fledglings, or they took the eggs.
Yeah.
But it's like, let the mother go and take only the young in order that you may fare well and have a long life. It's almost like saying, well, if you've got like making a parallel, well, you got the young, so you'll be okay and you'll live long. It's like,
Yeah, I think it's
It reminds me. Sorry, Brigitte, go
no,
on.
carry on, no, go on.
So I don't know how to put this, but talking about the mother and her young reminds me of, on the contrary, to, these 8 days when you have to keep, what is it, the cow? Which animal is it? With her young for 8 days. Am I correct? Does that ring a bell? Or
don't know.
or maybe I read or maybe I'm totally wrong. I can't remember. But it seems to be the opposite way, but I'm not sure about that. But
Well, I mean, just assume if you let the mother go, she'll be able to produce more eggs. I get that, but
Mhm.
why would you take the young? I mean, surely just take the eggs. That's bad enough. And
But
it-
it's not even that. It's the fact that it says in order that you may fare well and have a long
yeah,
life. So it's like, well,
yeah,
you can take that and that will help, help you to live a long life. So what happens
yes.
if you don't take them? You're not going to live a long life? It's kind of
Life.
like,
Oh, I
Yeah.
didn't think. Yes, yes. So that's a condition. So if you don't, you're right. If you don't take them, well, then you've obviously you've done wrong. And as you say, you might not have a long life, which is really wrong. Um,
and it's saying like, almost like saying, well, the mother's not important. Although you could say, well, let the mother go because she can produce more.
yes.
But
Mhm.
even
Yeah.
so,
Um, I
Maybe
wonder whether out of context it's difficult also to judge it because we don't know what other sort of laws there are regarding
oh, hang on.
food.
Let me tell you what else goes on. 2 seconds.
Mhm.
Find it. If I can find it quickly enough, then I have a summary of the whole of tomorrow's
My
parashah.
goodness.
But it's whether I can find it. What have I done with it? No, it's not there. It should be there.
Oh,
I'm sure
it's,
I put it away. Maybe it's in with that. Oh, here it is. Right. So that this portion contains.
A roving mic
Oh,
so that
start.
people will hear each other. Sorry to cut the conversation short. Maybe let's start on Zoom. What were your thoughts on Zoom about this passage?
You go, Brigitte.
well, I'm not sure any of us were very keen on on that ruling. It just didn't seem right, certainly, to take the young. I can understand if you're absolutely starving that you would take the eggs, but not the young ones. And also, as Linda pointed out, what happens if you don't take any of it? Does that mean that you won't have a long life? So it's a great puzzle.
So that's really interesting. So the question is, do you need to take them and shoo the mother away in order to have that long life? Or is
Yes.
it, if you're going to take the eggs, then you must shoo the mother away in order to have a long life? Fascinating. I'd not even thought of that question, but that's a good question. Thank you. And the discomfort was that it was not just taking the eggs, but taking the kind of potential life there.
That's right, yes.
Yeah. Oh, there we go.
Vegans today would say, I assume, don't eat eggs because they think it's cruel to the
Vegans.
yeah, vegans. Yeah.
Yeah, so vegan diet is completely no products that come from animals, sometimes including honey, sometimes not including honey, depends. And that would be because all of it is seen as a cruelty to animals. A lot of that is in connection with the meat and egg and milk industry and the way in our kind of modern day food production animals are treated. But I do wonder if there's something more humane that we see in it as well, which is beyond, and it's that the potential life has been taken. So yeah, never thought of that as a way of modern day vegans.
But then they have to really, I think, consider it in the time that it was written.
100%.
Yeah.
Yes, for sure. Thank you, Rosemary. Anyone else in the room? This discussion, no. Yes, a hard no from over there. Hannah, can I ask you to say more about the honouring your mother and father part of it?
Well, I've always thought the idea is that if you behave decently, honour your parents, your children will see the example you're setting and hopefully honour you as well. So it sort of slightly selfish in a way. It could be read that way. I mean, there's all sorts of ways of reading it. But it's interesting how many civilizations honor older people. My mother went to Japan when she was 70, and she was delighted that everybody was bowing to her because of her white hair. It wasn't just her, it was their whole tradition of looking after older people, which is interesting if you compare the way old people are treated today. You know, families have changed. No, it was just the words about that you will have a long life. You can also read it that the reward may very well not necessarily come in this life, but it's one of those things that you do which may not have a reward, but makes life more noble, one could say.
So it's the noble thing to do to send the mother off, and it sets a good example to.
And also, let's just remember, it's not just human beings that eat eggs.
Yeah.
Other animals are very predatory.
Yeah.
So maybe we should set them a good example that they wouldn't follow anyway.
I love it. So it's about setting an example, and that those rewards may come later on. Yeah. Anyone else in this room? I point the microphone. I'm going to pass it. I'm so sorry, I've forgotten your name. Amor.
Oh, you wanted me to?
Yes, you had a lovely interpretation.
Well, I looked at it a little bit from the standpoint of the ultimate giver and provider. And if we look at that, we wanna preserve that which he has given, so that there will always be additional provisions. If we take the mother and also the young plus the eggs, then we remove the ability or the to get in future. And the whole concept of that question you asked, if you do not, is the converse then true? If I do not take, then what happens? If I get long life because I shoot the mother away and take the eggs, are we looking at the provision that sustains? Therefore, the converse might be true. If you do not use it, then eventually your life might, because you die of starvation.
I see. So it's about your own sustenance as well. Very good. So interesting. Okay. And there was another thing that we said as well or you said as well in our discussion is, what's the spiritual aspect of it? And that's about kind of being aware of who the real provider is. And as we know, we say in Judaism, 100 blessings a day. Of course, we're all saying them diligently all the time. And that's not to make things holier, but quite the opposite, to make them less holy, to say, thank you, God, thank you to the provider for giving us these things. And once you've said thank you, it means that you're able to take that. And so the shooing away of the bird is the acknowledgement of the creation, or the one that creates. Thank you very much for indulging me in the discussion. The three commentaries, two of them we've heard, maybe all three of them we've heard. Let's see as we go through them. So one of them is about honoring your mother and father. And this one was brand new for me today when I was looking into it. And it's the idea that if you try and catch a live adult bird, what's going to happen to it normally? What does it try and do? Fly away. Exactly. It tries to fly away. So if the bird is hanging around, it's because it's got its parental instincts, its motherly instincts. So it's hanging around to try and protect its eggs. So if you don't shoo it away and you take it along with the eggs, you're taking advantage of those motherly instincts. There's also the idea of it's the moral thing to do. It's the right thing, the caring thing to do, not to have even an animal watching their young being taken, one of the most painful things anyone could imagine. There's also the idea of we don't pick fruit and then cut down the tree. So why would we take eggs and then get rid of the bird, which is what you were saying. So that was 1, 2, 3. We have our 3, 2 of which came out in the room, but there was not a commentary that was appalled or uncomfortable with the law. So it's really interesting that came out on Zoom, and is maybe a sign of kind of the times that we're living in now, with easy access to food and also a different relationship, I think, with our animals than was had back then. So thank you very much. We're going to begin to conclude our service with of the Aleinu. We'll all stand. You got it? Do you want to kick it off? Please stand. עלינו לשבח לאדון הכל, לתת גדולה ליוצא בראשית, אשר שם חלקנו לייחד את שמו, וגורר עלינו להמליך מלכותו. 28, sorry about that. ואנחנו קוראים ומשתחווים ומודים, לפני מלך מלכי המלכים, הקדוש ברוך הוא, שהוא נוטה שמיים ויוסד הארץ, ומושב יקרו בשמיים ממעל, ושכינתו זו בגובהי מרומים, הוא אלוהינו אין עוד, אמת מלכנו אפס זולתו, ככתוב בתורתו, וידעת היום בחשבות אל לבביך, כי אדוני הוא האלוהים בשמיים ממעל, ועל הארץ מתחתנו. Our responsibilities. Here indeed is an option worthy of our best efforts and noblest strivings, to believe that we are fashioned in the image of God and possessed, therefore, of infinite dignity and worth, that we share with our Creator in the task of creation, in the building of a society in which human beings are encouraged to fulfill themselves in creative ways, to rise to their full stature as children of God, and to dwell together in justice and understanding, in freedom and peace. Here are goals within the reach of our minds and hearts and hands. Though we may not witness their fulfillment in our day and time, to believe in them is our destiny, and to labor for them is our responsibility. And in that enterprise, life finds its deepest and fullest and holiest meaning. ונאמר והיה אדוני למלך על כל הארץ ביום ההוא יהיה אדוני אחד ושמו אחד. Strange is our situation here upon earth. Each of us comes for a short visit, not knowing why, yet sometimes seeming to divine a purpose. From the standpoint of daily life, however, there is one thing we do know, that we are here for the sake of others, above all for those on whose smile and well-being our happiness depends, and also for the countless unknown souls with whose fate we are connected by a bond of sympathy. Many times a day, I realize how much my outer and inner life is built upon the labors of others, both living and dead, and how earnestly I must exert myself in order to give in return as much as I have received and am still receiving. As a community, we remember Anne Hart, mother of Roger Hart, Bernard Benjamin, father of John Benjamin, Estelle Davis, mother of Nigel Davis, Faye Fishman, mother of Hilary Perry, Joan Berman, mother of Sue Shupak, John Todd, father of Yvonne Goldstein, Joseph Springson, father of Stephanie Lindley, Philip Wilson, husband of Anne Wilson, Ronnie Fresco, husband of Zella Milston, Rosa Gilbert, mother of Sharon Weissler, Ruth Hyams, mother of Linda Joseph. We also think of Sylvia Bronstein, mother of Julia Lane, Sidney Foreman, father of Marcus Foreman, Zoltan Pallas, father of Robert Pallas, Mike Solomon, son of Janet Solomon, and Alan Solomon, and brother of Neil Solomon. And I'll look around the room. If anyone's thinking of someone at this time, please do that, say their name, and then I'll look to Zoom.
Daniel Levy Cowan.
Daniel Levy Cowan.
Our parents. The parents.
Only if you want.
Sydney and Debbie
Sydney and Debbie.
White.
Right, thank you.
Everybody wasn't there.
Is there anyone else who? No. So I'll look to Zoom. If anyone's thinking of someone at this time, please do share their name. We say the words of Kaddish beginning on page 33 with all those who mourn. Yit gadal v'yit kadash shemei rabbah. V'yalma divrach irutei v'yamlich machutei. V'chayechon v'yomechon v'chayei d'chol beit Yisrael. V'agala v'zman kariv v'imru amen. Yehei shemei rabbah. Muvarach le'olam ulalmei almaya. Yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ah v'yitnaman v'yitnaseh. V'yithada v'yithalei v'yithalal shemei t'ksha barichu. La'ela min kol birchata v'shirata. Tushbechata v'nechamata. Diamiran b'yama v'imru amen. Yehei shlama rabba min shemaya. V'chayim aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael. V'imru amen. Osei shalom b'mroma. Hu ya'asei shalom. Aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael. Ve'al kol b'nei Adam. V'imru amen. And I invite you all to be seated. This is the last Beitenu until November. But of course, I'm going off in November, so this is my last Beitenu. We are hoping that it will continue. There's a lovely group of people who've already agreed that they can do some dates. We need more volunteers. So if there's anybody who would be willing to host a Beitenu, you don't have to lead the service. The rabbis or lay leaders that have chosen to do that will lead the service. It entails receiving emails to hear that people are coming, and hosting a little bit, making sure the food's out, and rallying the troops, as you also often do, with helping tidying up afterwards. And we can talk in more detail if you're interested in that. So yeah, it'd be great if these can keep going as long as possible. And I'll say it to everybody around the table as well, so we can get from the Mazorti service as well. We will conclude, I think, we'll go back to our Osei Shalom that we sang after the Amidah. Shalom bimroma, Huya say shalom aleinu, ve'al kol Yisrael, ve'al kol bnei Adam, ve'imru, amen. Ya la 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 la. La 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 la, ya la 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 la, ya la 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 la, la 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 la, ya la 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 la, ya la 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 la. Please stand and we'll say for each other on page 37. May God bless us and keep us. Yevarechecha Adonai v'yishmerecha. May the light of God's face shine upon us and be gracious to us. Ya'er Adonai panav elecha v'chunecha. May God's face be turned towards us and give us all peace. Yisa Adonai panav elecha v'yasem lacha shalom. Shabbat shalom, everybody. Shabbat shalom, everyone on Zoom. Thank you so much, Linda, for hosting this evening. Lovely to see you. Shabbat shalom. I believe Zoomers, you'll do Kiddush together, and we'll go to the hall to do Kiddush. Thank you, Linda.
Rabbi, tomorrow, I'm in showing there. 60 years, my mitzvah.
Oh,
He said so.
wow, yeah, he said so.
Oh, it works out August 1964.
Yeah.
Right, there we go. Let me change the view. Okay, right, it's a bit dark here. I'm just going to turn the light on. Hang on, because I couldn't do it while I was doing that. Ooh. Look at this. There we go. find a book. Right, I think, put that down a minute. So it should be page, if you've got your Siddur, it should be page 564. 564 if you've got your Siddur. Oh, my cat just fell off. Hang on, let me go and rescue him. He's on a blanket and he's slipped. Hang on. Tony! Are you alright, baby? Where are you? Oh, sorry, Tony. Oh, darling. You okay? There you go. Oh, bless him. Sorry, he was sat on top of the radiator, on top of a blanket.
Oh no,
And the
no.
blanket slipped, so he was
Oh,
down
no.
the back of the radiator. He was asleep.
Oh no.
He was down the back of the radiator and the blanket was on top of him. Are you okay? I think he's a bit shocked.
He must be, yes, poor thing. He probably wondered who threw him down by the side of the radiator.
Oh dear. Poor baby.
Oh
Oh,
dear, I've never seen him do that before. But say it must have slipped while he moved. He's just coming out from behind the settee now. Probably be all embarrassed.
dear.
Sorry about that interruption.
No, don't be, no.
Right, I'll try and sing this, but I will sometimes get the tune wrong. So, Vayachula Hashemayim v'haaretz v'kol tzva'am, v'yakal Elohim bayom hashvi'im melakto asher asa. Vayishbot bayom hashvi'im mikol melakto asher asa. V'yarek Elohim et yom hashvi'i, v'kadesh oto ki bo shava mikol melakto asher bara Elohim la'asot. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, borei peri hagafen. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kedeshanu b'mitzvotav v'retzavanu, v'shabbat kodsho, v'ahava uvratzon hinhilanu, zikaron lema'aseh v'reshit, ki hu yom tehillah lemikra kodesh, zecher l'tziat mitzrayim, Kivanu v'acharta, v'otanu kidashta, mikohamim, v'shabbat kodshecha, mi'ahava uvratzon hinhaltanu, Baruch atah Adonai, mekadesh hashabbat, Amen. L'chaim.
L'chaim.
Has anybody got any challah or bread?
I've got a slice of gluten-free bread. Gluten-free bread. Sorry, gluten-free bread.
Do you want to say the blessing?
Yes, thank you. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, hamotzi lechem min haaretz. Amen.
Right. Enjoy your slice of
Wonderful.
gluten-free bread.
Thank you so much, Linda, for hosting and making it possible for us to sort of
Oh, that's
Thank
nice.
you.